Like, this time, once again I'm coming to you, and it's really a great joy for me to talk with you through this video session. So we're going to look into the inventory management. We all know that inventory is very important and it is necessary and considered to be one of the cash equivalents. So inventory, we have three kinds of inventory. We all know that. Uh, Basically, we know that. The companies for manufacturing will buy raw materials which are essential for the manufacture of the final product. So the raw materials are the first inventory that will be stocked up, and when some of the raw materials are being used for manufacture, it is semi-finished goods. That is considered to be the work in progress, and finally when it comes out as the final product, we call it as the finished goods inventory. So we should know the meaning of inventory. So there are some assets. So normally the assets which are held for sale in the ordinary course of business, that is not in an extraordinary manner, but it is in the normal course of business, the normal way in which the company do purchase or procure the raw materials for manufacture into a final product, that is considered to be an asset, which is an inventory. So inventory cannot be just a building which is being bought for some use, some factory use or something. But if it is intended to resell the building, and that is the normal business for a client or for a concern or a company, in that case, it will be an inventory. Otherwise, it is not an inventory. So, any asset which is held for the main purpose of selling it in the ordinary course of business is considered to be the inventory. And secondly, any asset which is in the process of production. So you're going to have the stock where you're using it to produce some final product which is going to be sold out in the normal course of business, then that is considered to be inventory. And the asset which can be in the form of materials or it can be in the form of supplies which are being consumed in the production process, then such an asset is also considered to be an inventory. And if any stock which is or any asset which is being used for rendering any kind of services, in that case it is a inventory. So we should understand what is the relevance. So the relevance of the inventory can be identified with a trading concern or it can be a manufacturing unit. So inventory, even sometimes it can be spares or it can be loose tools or whatever, but it should be used for the purpose of manufacturing a particular product. So it should be in the normal course of business. So we all know that these are the types of inventory. The first, raw materials are being purchased from the vendors. Vendors are considered to be the suppliers, or we can call them as sundry creditors. If at all we are going to buy on credit, and these raw materials enter into the production process. So it will be entering into the machinery from where the final goods are being produced or manufactured. So with work in progress or work in process is uh, being done in a machinery. So the raw materials are being inside machineries, that is considered to be the work in process. And once the work in process is completed, the output is coming as the finished goods or the final product. And this finished goods or the final product will be sold to the customer. So you've got three kinds of stock here: raw material stock, work in process stock, and finished goods stock over here. So raw materials are considered to be the basic inputs that are converted into finished product. And how they are converting the raw materials? We are converting the raw materials into finished product by the process of manufacture. And work in progress are considered to be the semi-finished or semi-manufactured products that need some more work before they become final products which are eligible for sale. So the only the final product can be sold. So anything before that, it should be completed. So if it is uncompleted, not completed work, that is considered to be the work in progress. And any goods or any stock or any item which is completely manufactured and they're ready for sale. As on that particular day, that goods are ready for sale, they consider to be the finished goods. And finally, you have one more thing which is supplies. Supplies are office and plant materials that do not directly enter into production. They are not used for producing any material, but they are necessary for the production process. Like I said, tools are there or any other accessories or supplementary items which are being used by the employees or by the labor to manufacture the product. Unlike a machinery, they need some other thing, office or plant materials, which are not directly used but they are indirectly contributing towards the manufacturing of a particular product. And they do not involve significant investments. No more, much investments are needed. With small investments, these accessories can be purchased. If that is the case, then probably we know that these supplies are considered to be one of the inventory. So we know that current assets are there. Whenever we talk about the inventory, we should know that inventory is one of the components of current assets. So current assets, we know it is realized or consumed in the operating cycle. So inventory will be there in the component of current assets and it should be held primarily for trading purpose alone. And current assets can be considered to be cash or cash equivalent. So any asset which is not a current asset, that is which cannot be easily converted into cash, it will be classified as a non-current asset. We should be very clear on that aspect. And we should understand the relevance of inventory in this case. So inventory is constituting a significant part of current assets. Already we saw in the cash management, cash component is only just 3 to 5% or something of the total current assets. Here, inventory is constituting a major part of current assets. On an average, inventory is forming around 60% of current assets in public limited companies, especially in India. And whenever you're going to have investment on inventory, you must spend a lot of money. So, lot of money is being blocked in the form of inventory. And effective and efficient management is necessary to avoid unnecessary investment. So, if the management is not having a proper control over the inventory management system, in that case, a lot of money will be blocked in the inventory, which might not be necessary. So you should be able to understand the concept of optimal inventory management. So the inventory should not be too high, it should not be too low. So that safety stock cannot be maintained. An improper inventory management will affect long-term profitability and it also may cause failure. Say if a company is not concentrating on the inventory management, the company might also turn up into a great loss. So 10 to 20% of inventory can be reduced without adverse effect on production and sales. So if you're going to use simple planning and control techniques, 20% of the inventory can be reduced without having any hiccups with your sales or your production. Without touching your production or your sales, you will be able to reduce the inventory pattern in such a manner that money is not unnecessarily blocked into the inventory and you have enough cash for the day-to-day operations of the concern. So when you talk about the inventory management, the act is of managing, handling, directing, and controlling the flow of inventory. So the first aspect is how well you are able to manage the inventory flow, and also there should be people to handle efficiently to monitor the flow of inventory. And there should be some additional employees, or the employees should be trained in such a manner that they can direct and control the flow of inventory. They should see to the timing of inventory flow and how well it is being controlled. And there is a need for that. It's all based on demand. Demand is meet unexpected demands. Why you want to have more inventory? The reason is, if suppose in a particular season you expect some unexpected demand is going to be higher. In that case, you must pile up a stock. So you need some inventory. That is one of the reasons. And smooth or seasonal or cyclical demands might also be the reason to have more number of inventory into your warehouses. And pricing related inventory management is also possible, because we might expect that prices might increase in a month or two. In that case, if there is an expectation that there might be a price increase, then what the company will do is they will plan accordingly and buy some inventory, buy some materials, stock it up, even if it is going to be excess. They will stock it up for the future because of the price fluctuations. And sometimes, in the current period itself, discounts a huge number. So based on the discounts, what the companies might do is they will buy excess materials and stock it up because they get lot of discount. And inventory management is also connected with the process and supply. There are some internal and external involvement here. Internal upsets in parts of our own process. So the process what the management is using might require more number of inventory. And external is delay in incoming goods. So we might not be expecting that the materials which are being ordered might reach us within the time limit. So in order to overcome all this, the company might have excess inventory. So the objectives are to maintain optimum size of the inventory for an efficient and smooth production, and also for having a good sales operation. So all these things has to be considered when the company has to have a good inventory management. Second objective is to maintain a minimum investment in inventories, and then or thereby to maximize the profitability of the concern. And also effort should be made to place an order. When you are going to place the order, you should select the right time, the right source, right quantity has to be acquired, and it should be acquired at the right price and the right quality. So all of these elements are very important while you are going to place an order. Right time you should place the order, right source where you're going to place the order you should choose, and right quantity has to be placed, right price has to be chosen, and right quality has to be checked and verified. And if you want to be successful in having a very good inventory management system, the first and foremost thing what you should do is ensure a continuous supply of raw materials. There should be uninterrupted production, because if your production stops, then you will not be in a position to meet out your customer demand. You cannot meet out the time schedule what you are given to the customer. So you should ensure a continuous supply of raw materials and maintain sufficient stock of raw materials, especially in the periods of short supply and anticipated price changes. So due to these economical changes, whatever is happening, you should be able to maintain enough stock with you to supply in the production system. To maintain sufficient finished goods inventory for smooth sales. Even after your final goods are being ready, even if there is no demand, you should be ready with your stock of finished goods. The main reason is, if there is a slight demand coming up in the near future, you should be able to supply with your sale. If that is being done, you can minimize your carrying cost, you can minimize your time as well, and control the investment on the inventories and keep to the best possible optimum level, because that is very important. If at all we overreact, so sometimes when you want to concentrate on inventory management system, sometimes the management will overreact to the conditions of the situation. Such situation occurs, what will happen? Unnecessary tying down in firm funds. Fund will be tied up with your inventory and your profit will be minimized. Carrying cost will be excessive because if you are going to have more inventory in your stock or more inventory in your warehouses, the carrying cost to maintain this inventory is excessive. Risk of liquidity difficult to convert into cash. Physical deterioration also is possible. Sometimes if you're going to stock it and you're going to have for number of months together, then immunity might not be having the quality. And if you're going to be too cool on that, okay, why should we bother on this inventory management system? Let us try to be just take it for granted. That happens. Production holders, loss of labor hours will occur, failure to meet the delivery commitments. You will not be in a position to meet out any of your delivery commitments. Customers may shift to competitors. They will not be patient, waiting at your doorstep to deliver your product, which will amount to a permanent loss to the firm. And it will also affect your goodwill and it will spoil the image of. So we should not be taken for granted. At the same time, we should not be too aggressive on this particular system. So with this, I end up this session. Have a nice day. Thank you.